Hey there, Michelle. What's going on with you?
Hey, I'm good. Lindsay, how are you?
Excited to be on the microphone. Excited about the new year. All good. All good. What are we
Yes.
getting into today, Michelle?
Yeah, well, we're going to answer an interesting listener question. Well, Lindsay, why do we talk about, like a lot of times on the show, we're talking about positive and negative connotations of words. And why do we talk about this?
Well, I mean, especially at the level that our listeners are, B1, B2, C1, especially pushing B2 and C1. We don't want to just know the word. We want to know what's the undertone of the word, right? Like,
Yep.
what are we actually saying?
Right. What's beneath the surface? Like we're digging deeper.
Yes.
We're not just saying, okay, here are your vocabulary words on a page.
Yeah.
And there you go. There's so much more to
There's so
learning
much.
English or any language.
Yeah, that's what gets us to those higher levels of English. So that's why it matters. And today we're going to answer an awesome listener question. We love great questions, guys. So we're going into a fresh new year, 2026. Go ahead and send your questions to support@allearsenglish.com. Make it a very specific question. Michelle, shall I go ahead and read this YouTube question?
Sure, please.
All right, this comes from our YouTube channel, Mansour58100. You say connotation many times. What does it mean? What are the synonyms and antonyms of connotation? Yeah, good question, right?
Very good question, because we do always throw this word around. So let's really dig deeper into what does it really mean? We certainly use it a lot. And like Lindsay said, this is kind of the meaning behind the word, the association, the implication, the feeling, right?
Yes.
That's what a connotation is.
100%, right? So we can always learn the definition of a word. We can look it up in the dictionary, but it doesn't always tell you the complete story. I mean, that's why we're here. That's something I warn listeners with when it comes to AI and ChatGPT. It attempts to give you that nuance, but it can never give you the full color nuance, right?
Yep.
You need to see it in context and role plays and really truly understand it from a native speaker. So
yeah, exactly. So there's so much to it. So guys, we're going to talk more about this in just a second, but please make sure that you hit the follow button wherever you're listening to All Ears English or on YouTube. Hit subscribe. Never miss anything from us.
Yeah, we come out 5 days a week. This is a Sassy Saturday episode, but we also come out 4 days a week, during the work week, on your way to work, when you're washing dishes in the evening. We will be there for you. So make sure you're hitting follow. All right.
Yes. Exactly. So again, when we talk about the word connotation, we're talking about the subtext, what's beneath the actual word. So these are things like, how do people feel when they hear it? Or what are you implying when you use this word or expression? So a word with a positive connotation has a good feeling to it. A negative connotation has more of a negative feeling to it, right?
Sure. Yeah. Well, let's give some concrete examples so our listeners know exactly what we're saying here, Michelle. So the word cheap. Yeah. It's loaded. So we also say the word loaded. Like words can be loaded, right? Meaning loaded up on meaning behind the scenes. And cheap is one of them. Tell us more, Michelle.
Yeah, so because this can be different depending on the context. So some words, you hear it and it pretty much just has a negative or a positive. And then some of them are in between and you have to listen for the subtext. What are we actually saying? So for example, this dress looks cheap. I shouldn't have bought it. So would you say that's negative or positive?
That's pretty negative, right? Low quality is what we're saying here. Low quality, right? Or here's a totally different one. I got a great deal on concert tickets. They're so cheap. Well, is that low quality too, Michelle? Or are we saying something different?
No, you're just saying that they're affordable. So
Exactly.
this is a positive thing here. So same word, different connotation, depending on how you're using it, depending on the context.
The tone, right? How I'm delivering that, how my voice sounds. So we have to listen to so much more than just the words. What about the word different? This is good.
This is an interesting one as well. So I love talking with her because she always brings different ideas to the table.
This means
so what
diverse,
would you say? Yeah,
right?
diverse. Yeah.
Varied. Varied. Maybe like challenging. It's just she introduces complexity, and it's good to talk to someone who introduces complexity, right? That's a positive thing, but sometimes this can be kind of a euphemism, right? For weird.
Yep. So, for example, oh, your outfit, it's different, right?
It reminds me of when I was a kid. I feel like, I don't know, my mom used to always use this as kind of a euphemism. Oh, that person's is just a little bit different, right? Like,
yeah,
because it's a little bit more politically correct.
Yeah.
Right. And she wouldn't want to say that person's weird. Or
Yeah.
Instead, just a little different. Right.
Yes.
And
just different. That's all.
so I love that. So funny. And the word challenge is our next one. Right. So, for example, working with Tim is a challenge. He's not easy. Right.
Negative. Right.
Negative. Or pretty negative.
I want to take on a challenge. I'm excited for what's to come.
Right. And again, working with Tim is a challenge. Kind of a euphemism for awful, right? Working with Tim is awful. It's horrible. It's hard, right?
Yeah. So guys, you see some words or expressions can be the same, but have different connotations depending on how we use them. But some are mostly completely, more black and white, positive or negative. So, and the same thing goes for actual idioms too, not just single vocabulary words. But for example, a word with a positive connotation is cheerful. Negative connotation, rude.
Right. There's really no other way of interpreting those two words, right?
Yeah.
Is what you're saying? Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Okay, Michelle. So our listener over on YouTube asked us for some synonyms and some antonyms, right? So let's give those to our listener here. What do we have?
All right. So synonyms, I would say implication, right? So what are you implying? What are you actually it's like the clues that you're giving, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Or subtext also is like the text under the text. It's like, what are you really saying? Undertone, really good one. Associations, meanings that are kind of associated with that word. What comes to mind, right?
Whereas antonyms would be like denotation, like the actual meaning, just the word.
Okay. Yeah.
Or literal meaning, right? That's just
meaning.
Focusing on the actual, what is the definition?
Love it. Why do we think we have to learn these? I mean, I think it's pretty clear from what we said so far in the episode, Michelle, right?
I think this is one of the core pillars of our podcast, really, is like, and I actually remember when I was getting my master's degree in TESOL, the first day, I remember the teacher talking about what is it to teach a word? And, one thing is the basic definitions. And I remember very clearly then her also saying but what are all the different things that the word means and in what context and there's so much to it. And that really stuck out to me because I never thought about that before I started getting my degree and, how, and so I think we really try to stress that to you as our listeners, because we want you to have as much information as possible and not just learn the word on a page and say, okay, I understand this word. No, you have to know more. You guys are at that level where you're hungry for that. You want to learn more. And these will help you connect as well.
Yeah, I think it's also a marker of a C1 level speaker.
Yep.
If you understand all these different connotations and are able to use them and deploy them, right? That's very high level. So that's where we're headed as a community here. So Michelle, let's do a role play with some of these words and all different connotations. All right. So we are friends getting ready for a party.
Okay. Yeah? Okay. So it's a theme party. I'm up for the challenge.
Yes. I love these parties. They're so different and fun.
Same, but it can be a challenge to find a good costume.
I found a cheap one, but I'm not sure if you'll like it. Look.
Oh, that's different.
I know.
I like my old one from last year, but it looks kind of cheap.
All right. So we used kind of the same words, but in a more with different connotations, right? So first you said, so it's a theme party. I'm up for the challenge. Is that positive or negative?
Positive. And you can tell by the way I say it and the expression I'm up for the challenge, I'm ready for it. So it's positive.
And maybe we'll just skip down to the other use of challenge just to make it clear.
Good idea.
Yeah, you said same, but it can be a challenge to find a good costume. And you kind of mean maybe a nuisance, kind of difficult.
Yeah. I wouldn't say this is super like this is terrible or anything.
Right.
This one I would say, oh, a challenge. Like we're not too upset about it, but it can be tricky, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then we use the word different. You said, I love these parties. They're so different and fun. And you basically mean unique. So positive connotation there. But later we use different in kind of a negative, like way to mean weird.
Yep. Oh, that's different.
Yeah. And it's all in your tone of voice.
Yep. And then there's the word cheap. So you said, I found a cheap one, but I'm not sure if you'll like it. Look, so this one is kind of interesting. Kind of also neutral. Like it's like you're saying that it's cheap. And so that's a good thing, but you're not sure if I'm going to like it. But for you, you're like, you're happy it's cheap. So overall, I think it's positive.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I would lead with positive. I'm leading positive there. Hey, I found a cheap one, right? That's great. Right. But then at the end, you're saying, I like my old one from last year, but it looks kind of cheap. And here,
Negative.
from your tone of voice, I can tell that's not good. Maybe it's in tatters. Maybe it has a hole in it or something. Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So really interesting stuff here. Connotations are huge. I mean, we have to learn the whole subtext. We have to learn the whole story and many different ways to use every word. And some of them are black and white, good or bad. Some of them, it really, really depends. And you have to listen a little bit more closely to know what the person means.
Yes, I love it. Guys, go check out episode 2536, How to Be Better Than Decent at English Vocabulary. Interesting. Yeah. Really good. This has been great. So all of our listeners, you guys are ready to start to challenge yourself to look towards getting into that C1 level by seeing those nuances, seeing those different connotations, right, Michelle? This is something I want to invite our listeners to take a look at. It builds connection. Exactly. I mean, well, it's necessary for it's crucial for connection, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, and guys, this is going to take you to the next level once you start, really learning. And that's what we're here to help you with, teaching you the whole story of every possible word or every possible idiom, because there's usually a story to everything. Don't let that stress you out. I mean, that's one thing. Yes, you want that. There's a lot to learn about each word, but there are, some of the more basic words, and we're here to help you along the way. So don't stress by thinking, oh no, I have to learn a whole novel about every word. No, we're here to help you and give you some of the basics and the best ways to do it.
And also, I think there's something to trusting your ability to listen closely to tone of voice, right? So you're going to hear these things in people's tones of voice, right? You're going to hear whether that connotation is good. What does it really mean in the way someone delivers it in the context? We want to start to really tune into tone of voice. That's huge.
Yeah. Love it. All right, Lindsay. Well, this was fun. And thank you to our listener again for this really excellent and important question. And Lindsay, I'll talk to you next time.
Sounds good, Michelle. Talk to you soon. Have a good one.
All right. Bye.